And that is why it's at the end of the mindset part, because if you have those first three in time, you probably won't have mental health issues. And mental health is a very difficult pill to swallow because there's so many things that you can do to avert it, but it's so difficult to tell someone in that state.
Yes.
It's like sitting with someone who's dealing with depression. There's, Andrew Tate. Right. So Andrew Tate's a weird one for me because there's a lot that he says that resonates with me, but there's certain things that he's a shock jock who's trying to get a reaction. I mentioned the other day about depression. I have my own personal story on this, which is interesting. If I listened to Andrew Tate 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and he said depression isn't real, I'd believe it. So I never had depression until I met my wife and she explained the process of depression. And I saw that the way that it laid out, it's very easy to dismiss mental health for others.
Yeah.
Because if you're not dealing with the same issues, it's easy to go, well, suck it up, princess, make it better. But you're not dealing with what they're dealing with.
Right.
And what they're dealing with might to you seem inconsequential, but it's not to them.
That's right.
So I think, especially for men, trying to find purpose in the world, where do we fit in? How do we fit in? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? A lot of what we're doing in the Layman's Lab is to try and give you those fundamental principles to allow you to be your best version of yourself. And if you can attain and constantly work to being that best version, mental health will become less of an issue than what it probably currently is for you. And there's many mechanisms to try and tackle it.
Yeah, this one, as you know, is a really big one for me as a veteran who's had my own struggles. I would agree with that. I don't know that I've ever been in a state of depression, but I've definitely had my mental health struggles. And there's a lot of veterans out there who have as well. And I have a friend who recommended a book to me some time ago called The Untethered Soul. That book talks about the person between your ears. Like we've all seen the cartoons where you got the little devil on one shoulder and the little angel on the other shoulder, and they're both talking to you, right? And which one do you choose to listen to is really how I'm seeing this, right? And that book talks a lot about that, where if we took the person outside, there's a person in ourselves that's always talking, right? When we're not talking physically out loud, there's a person in my head always having a conversation in my head, right? So it's all about maintaining control of that individual. And if we put that person in a chair right next to us, it's very likely we're not going to like who that individual is because they're just fucking negative, right? It's the little devil inside of you, if you will. So what's really important is positive self-talk and really driving to find a higher purpose, which is what we all need as men. I think women as well. But we need that higher purpose and finding a way or a path to it, which is why we're all here. But we struggle to identify, right? And so the mental health part of it, if you're listening and you're in a deep, dark place, don't be afraid to get help. But what always concerns me, especially around veterans, is that we try to do a prescription to fix it. I don't think you need a prescription to fix these mental health issues. I think there's a recipe that we're going to help uncover to help you resolve some of these things. And I think a really important thing is don't think you should fix this on your own. Get around a community, get around people like us that are going to pull you along and help you better yourself. We're going to shine our light. We're not going to step back to where you are because we've overcome a lot of things. But if you walk towards our light, you're going to get out of it. This is something I'm really passionate about helping people with. And honestly, this is why I want us to do this, because mental health is the biggest crisis we have in our country right now.
And the biggest one with men. I do not know a man, right, that I've been able to sit with and have a deep conversation with that does not have some form of mental health issues.
100%.
Some of them are as light as trying to figure out my purpose, my spirituality, where do I fit in? Some of them are when I say mental health, we're not talking about mental illness. What happens is you're dealing with the fundamental aspects of being a man in the modern world. It's just part of what we are.
Society allows us to become victims way too easily, right? Yes. My friend Jason, who's a SEAL, says victimhood breeds victimhood. You have to take matters into your own hands.